Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to another episode 47 of the Trinity podcast. Yes, right on cue. Welcome back to the channel. Listen, we're on the eve, eve before a big game. The Emirates, we have to face Arsenal again, FA Cup third round. We don't enjoy going there. It means a lot to us personally, all
Is
of
it
that
fourth or
stuff
third?
online.
Not really.
Third round.
First round for us. Third round, mate. Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell. Oh.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Thank you, Dion Dublin. You know what I mean? Trying to get a bit of confidence. We're just trying to, pulls us out the hat against Arsenal away, mate. Not even like a home thing. Just no. Emirates again. Was only there in December. Lovely.
What does he always say? Is it stairways to the bedroom or stairs to the bedroom? Have you seen that when he does stairs to the bedroom?
I know it's all his fault. But yeah, big up, man. We got a big show. But as usual, before we get into the show, the link is in the video description below, as always. The QR code is already on screen because this show is brought to you by Oxford Natural. And here is everything you need to know about your supplements that you can get involved with. Check it out. This video is brought to you by Oxford Natural and the Optimum Day and Night capsules. This is the perfect way to take charge of your weight loss journey through Optimum. Scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the video description below to start your journey now. Look at the difference. I mean, just look at KG. The proof's in the pudding. Shout out to Oxford Natural and Going Live. That is it right there. You can get your Optimum supplements, man. It is a way of life. It's not just a crash course, yeah? You have to keep it up. You can get up to 70%, as you can see there on screen, using code UnitedView. And our journey's been good. Listen, Dr.
Very
Andre,
good, bro.
You know what I mean? Dr. Andre. Shout out Dr. Andre. Just
look at Owen, though. Look at Owen in that box. He
crazy.
It doesn't even, it looks mental.
Here, like he's
going back to the Owen that he's getting back to the. He showed me a picture of him back in the day, yeah, and it was ridiculous. I had the biggest reaction to him. He could have stopped talking to me by my reaction to him.
Well, I showed him. It was a few years ago, and we were on the way to the Football Content Awards actually. I can't remember what we were talking about, and I went, "This is what I used to look like." And KG stone face went, "You need to sort yourself out, mate." And I went, "Not even well." He just went, "You sort yourself out, mate." I went, "Oh, yeah,
no, but you have what? No, you showed him a picture of him before.
Yeah,
you don't know what he looked like.
Well, I do. Understand. I was there.
You don't understand. No, it's before. No, his pre-UV.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and at that point,
you
was
said
only
you need to sort yourself out. He has
men's health.
No. But at the time I didn't. But the time I wasn't. I this was pre.
Oh, you showed him it. You showed. Oh,
basically,
right. I thought you showed him it now, and he said,
"No." This was a couple of years ago. Yeah, and I said, I was like, "This is what I used to look like a few years ago." And KJ was like, "Yeah, you need to sort yourself out, mate." So,
because you have the grandpa things, the show, the elbow protector,
elbow thing.
He's finding a blazer. That guy would not wear that blazer now. He looks like he's meant to be a men's health, bro. It's brilliant. I love it, man.
100%. And there you go. Not that we're trying to ram it in your faces or anything, but the optimum journey. You know what I'm saying?
It was, and legitimately, it was. I mean, I wasn't on the same thing as KG, but certainly at the beginning, which is the hardest part of the health journey, is starting. It really helped that, particularly with the cravings. Yeah, I've got a sweet tooth and I've got a big appetite. Yeah, and it really helped with that to get me on my way. So wouldn't have been able to do it without them.
And you are definitely well on your way, as you can see. So link is in the video description below. QR code on screen for United View. Use that code and you can get up to 70% off your Oxford Natural / Optimum products. All right, let's get into it. It's been a crazy week. KG, I feel like, you see, look at that in the class. Miss, sir, basically, now, because what you call it, basically, I want to say this thing here. I can just imagine you in school.
Yes.
You volunteered. Your hand is up. You need to put something.
I've been watching the morning shows. I've been watching Owen's morning shows. I've been impressed, but Owen is basically calling all of us out. Basically, he's been calling us out for just being really reactionary, and the cobby stuff. Owen's been on that vibe, and I don't know. They say hit dogs holler. Yeah, or if the cat fits, that kind of stuff, that type of vibe. And I'm definitely in that group of.
Do we know that vibe? What were those phrases?
Yeah, have you not heard Hit Dogs Holler or the Cat Fits? You know, no,
This is
you
like
never heard it?
we had this the other day, KG, where he was
Yeah.
saying something, and I went, I have
Okay,
no
cool.
idea
If
what
the
you
what
would.
fits?
The Cat Fits.
The cat.
The
The
cat,
cat.
CAT.
Oh,
The
right,
cat.
yeah. The cap, yeah, of course. I've
Well,
heard of
first
that.
of all, I thought you were saying cat, and I was thinking,
Oh
Yeah,
no,
no.
the
what?
cat.
The
Through a
cap fits,
Come on,
let them
guys.
wear it.
Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah.
anyway,
and this,
I was
and this is
definitely-
the other part of it, KG. Why is KG stirring up stuff on social media saying Declan Rice was wearing a do-rag when he clearly was
he
not
wasn't.
wearing a
Oh, yeah, that's
do-rag?
funny.
Yeah, he
So-
wasn't. He wasn't. I
Hey,
just
listen,
went, I'm
anyway.
sure that's a backwards cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that after, and I was like, oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, let's
carry
get
on.
to it.
Carry on,
Yeah.
KG. Yeah.
Anyway, this is what we're talking about because there has been a lot of people going mad. You know, INEOS have been INEOSing, yeah. And I think that they're just. I really don't like them. You know, I'm at this
What
stage
do you
here.
mean? Wait.
I don't like them.
But this was my
This is
my
the
point.
overreaction you're
This is-
talking
this is- Yes, you just
I know.
made my
This is
point,
what I'm saying.
KG.
I'm part of the people. I'm saying I have an issue, right? That's what this is the issue,
Yeah.
Flex.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm one of the caps fitting, and I'm saying I feel like
I'm wearing it.
I'm wearing the thing. What Owen has been cussing people about. I'm like, ooh, Owen, it does feel like he's
That applies
you know,
to me.
Yeah, that applies to me. And I'm saying, hey, Owen. And this is where I'm like, this again, I can't put my hand up and said, look, I've got an issue. I'm raising the issue to the crowd. Yeah. We've seen how these criminals have acted, yeah. And nothing is without. I feel like they do test the waters to see what's going on. They mess around, yeah. And there is some of that in this is the same club that have gone out and said on good authority, they said, look, a lot of players, a lot of people for sale. That's that. Ornstein got that that special. He got that and was like, no way. Remember our big reaction before? I can't remember what game it was. Before the Liverpool game. It was that there's no chance that's happened. And then guess what? Now we hear, yes, Cobby's not going to Chelsea, but then that whole thing of his contract, there's a stalemate in this situation. Yes, it's far away, but similar to the Kvaratskhelia situation, he's been getting paid a fee that he doesn't feel has been good enough. They didn't rectify it, and now he wants out in Jan. I'm not saying that's going to happen with Cobby, but we have to understand we can't trust this department who've got rid of that. They put up the prices for so much, changed the Christmas parties, taken away vouchers, and they've done all sorts. So can we put it past them to test the waters and then only come out and say, hey, you know what? Actually, we don't want this. We don't want these problems. And then put some words out to say to Melissa Reddy, that's not happening.
This was my thing, KG, with all of this. Yeah. Is you say you don't like INEOS, and this isn't even me actually defending INEOS because I've criticized them for loads of stuff, really. My point is, let's criticize them for the stuff that they have done versus the things that haven't even happened yet. And criticize them for cutting the funding to the charity. Criticize them for raising the season ticket prices. Criticize them for just the handling of the club in general. Where were we, 12th in the league? Criticize them for giving Eric an extension and then sacking him and signing Dan Ashworth and then sacking him anyway. And all that. Criticize them for that they have done. But why are we being whipped up in a frenzy of something that hasn't happened yet? And actually, when you read all the articles, like the heading is, United would consider selling Kobe Mainoo or Garnacho. The subheading is, they don't want to sell Alejandro Garnacho and Kobe Mainoo. So the articles itself were just whipping the fans up into a frenzy. And we all fell for it. We all fell for it. I say we all, but a lot of people fell for it and ran with it. And it was such a non-story, to the point that it was like, but it was what it was like, KG, is again, it's the reality of football now. And people are going like, oh, but you know, in the 90s, we wouldn't have sold Ryan Giggs, or in the 90s, we wouldn't have sold David Beckham, blah, blah, blah. First of all, we did sell David Beckham in the end. And two, the rules are fundamentally different in football then versus now. The rules have changed. The game has changed, right? We've seen it. You're encouraged to sell homegrown players. Now, I'm not saying go sell Kobe Mainoo, go sell Alejandro Garnacho, but as a fan base, this is where we talk out of both sides of our mouths, because we go, all of these players, get rid of them. And I tell you what, let's be ruthless. If they're not good enough, if an offer comes in, then they should go. If it's for the betterment of the team, then they should be out of here until an offer possibly does come in for the team, until an offer possibly, or even just rumors about an offer comes in, then we start crying because our favorite player is going to leave. You know, we did it in the summer. We'll regret Wan-Bissaka going. Even they're doing it now. I tell you now, Rashford, he's being scapegoated. Sancho, I can't believe this is happening. And it's just like, again, we are gluttons for punishment. We are. We don't know what we want. We don't know what we want.
I'm with you on a few things, yeah. But then it's just a little part of, we have to understand, even with the Rashford one, Man United have been heavily involved in what's going on with Rashford right now. We can't say that we haven't been, in terms of, yes, I know the Amarin thing is, but let's really look at the journey. It was the club that came out and spoke about willing to let Rashford go first. Then Rashford jumps out and says, and has that interview. But yes, the club literally, anyway. Rashford goes out and says, I want to leave as well. But then now there's been a thing, and this is where obviously we don't know, but then it's just, you know, you're looking at the subtext of this thing and saying, well, it's weird. This man is being frozen out of the team. Like, he's not getting back in, and they clearly want him off the books. I would say Casemiro, there was a lot of...
Does that bother you? Does that bother you that Rashford's being frozen out?
No, it doesn't. But I know that INEOS are just, I can see INEOS operating, and to say that they're not, it would be a bit. It'll be a bit.
What we asked for.
But again, this is my point. No, that's exactly my point. I look at that and I go, good, because in the years gone by, we wouldn't have done it. Yeah, but Bruno, this is the Cobby thing too. People are like, oh yeah, but we've seen how INEOS have acted. INEOS in the summer, Bruno Fernandes called their bluff massively. He's like, Bayern Munich are interested in me. These other clubs are interested in me. Yeah. I'm not sure what direction Man United's going in. INEOS, they shit themselves. They went, 300k, Bruno, please stay. Yeah. You know, so this again with the Cobby thing. He's getting a new contract. Of course, he's going to get a new contract. Of course, he's going to stay. And even so, I think just the reason it's got up into a frenzy is because, like you said, KG, he wants more money, and Man United, rightfully so, by the way, are like, there is no rush. We've got you for 3 years. Well, we can keep talking. You've only been in the first team for a year. Like, there are going to be ups and downs. You look at, if you want to compare it to other people in the club, that's one thing. But we're saying that other people in the club, we've got those decisions wrong. So it's really important we get the next decisions right. The better idea actually would be, look at other clubs in the Premier League that are, you know, of players that are similar ability and age to you. You should probably be on about that, not like 200. And let's be honest again, if Cobby went on 200 and with how he's kind of playing at the moment, then they would get criticised for that, because it's not a good deal for them to make at the moment.
But then I'm not sad, and there's not 200 as well. But I'm going to go back to what this club has done in the past with contracts like Herrera. When we said what we tried to sign Herrera, you know, the dark arts of just the boardroom, when they say we tried to do this, and then you find out Herrera's like, that never happened at all. They didn't offer me that. You know, because the club could easily say this player is just being a money grabbing git, and then we turn against the player when it's not really that. So I'm just saying we need to be aware. I just don't think we can just blanketly trust INEOS through how they made really poor decisions along the way. So I'm just I'm just being more like, I've got the side eye on INEOS.
Yeah,
like,
and you should, of course, and you should. And what's ironic, I remember you having to defend yourself. I remember this vividly, and you will as well. We all will. I remember you had to defend yourself against the community, against charges of you're just not Glazer's sympathizer, Jim Ratcliffe. You're just backing him because you remember at the start when you're just like, no, guys, they've got us a recruitment team. The reasons why we were excited about them, all of us. I'm putting myself into that as well.
I think we've all had that, haven't we? Yeah.
I mean, and then even with the Dan Ashworth thing, I remember I was the one when I was like, hang on a minute. Whoa.
Yes.
Well, what going here? I said, this is incompetence. Why are we celebrating this ruthlessness? And then it was the pushback, rightly so. Well, you can see it as a positive because they've realized it weren't working and these guys are ruthless. If that was Ed Woodward, blah, 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 blah. So I remember you backing that. And then what happened is now
information. There's been more information and more fuck ups along the way.
But that's what I'm saying. So this is how interesting it is that the needle moves. This is exactly my point. I remember you 6 months ago having to defend yourself, saying, I'm not blindly backing these guys. I'm giving them the praise for the things they have done since they've got in here. They've assembled a football structure. You know what I mean? They've got Omar Barada, they've got Jason Wilcox, they've got Dan Ashworth. They didn't get bullied to get Dan Ashworth. They said, piss off Newcastle. We're paying what we want, or we'll go to court. Good. You know what I mean? They stuck by the manager. You know what I mean? Decided to keep him. These were good things at the time. Like you said, then new evidence arises, and now everyone's saying to you, basically, now you hate them. For me, I just look at it as it is from the business side of things, because you do have to look at what football is now, right? Basically, everybody does have their price. Fact of life. Everybody has their price, especially when you're 13th in the league, and especially when you haven't been ran properly and you're trying to get back on your feet. Everybody has their price. You talk about the needle moving, bro. Let's be real. If we rewind to the 10th of January, let's say 2024, yeah? What was Garnacho's thing like then? His stock thing. It was like, I tell you what, this kid, you know,
free kids on the wall,
the free kids on the wall, man them on the wall, yeah, all of that. Yeah. That's the future. You fast forward this, we've got a new manager, new style. Garnacho's had another incident of the discipline thing. Got himself back in, but I'm just adding in what's happened. Yeah. The system inside 10. Rasmus is struggling. All of a sudden, if I said to you, someone's going to come in and give 50 million for Rasmus Højlund. Someone's going to come in and give 55 million to Atletico Madrid. From Atletico Madrid for Garnacho. And Garnacho's one would be 100% profit. And you could reinvest that and go and get Ruben someone that fits this and this, that, and the other. All of a sudden, the fans were going, consider it.
On the flip side of that, with Garnacho, let's say his contract, he was on a low wage, and United go, we're going to give him 200k a week now. You'd be like, bloody hell. What are you doing that for?
You go, why would you do that? So the needle has moved. Kobe is different, I agree, because with his skill set, it's much harder to replace that. Having a youngster who can manipulate the ball like what he can do is really difficult to
almost he's learning to dictate the tempo of games. It's
very, very, very difficult to do. Garnacho is, I'm not disrespecting Garnacho. I'm just saying it as it is, because I think Garnacho still needs time to develop. But that's more of a tenner penny, a quick winger who can get at people. You know what I mean? You can go and buy that.
You can find that.
So, and I think the key here is what Owen said. I read a lot of these articles, a lot of them properly, like away from the mail head with the exclusive thing in the corner. Then away from it, when you actually read, Manchester United are not actively trying to sell these players. Full stop. That's it. We don't need to. We're not trying to. But if a big boy money come in that could help reinvest the squad for the betterment of everything, how could we say Garnacho is untouchable? How?
No, and don't get me wrong, yeah. So someone like Garnacho, because you do have your players, and I think it's the player like Kobe that does really is the eyebrow raiser, because big clubs are not selling their Kobe Mainu. They're not doing it. Like if you're like that version of Ronaldo that pulled up, I'm not calling Kobe Ronaldo in any way, but that sporting version of Ronaldo that pulled up that Fergie signed, they weren't selling him until they got what they needed from him. They got their investment. They got a lot of their investment. Yes, they sold.
But that is where you have to remember how football's changed.
But what we're doing now, but a club like Man, and this is where I think I get we're looking at it, but the perspective is a bit shit in a sense, because these guys, the INEOS, have got in bed with the Glazers. The Glazers have single-handedly destroyed this club and put us in a space where we do have PSR issues, where we are, all these things are makings of horrible, being run horribly. We should not be in this position where, like, let's say a player of Kvaratskhelia ability is available for 80 million. We can't even look that way. We can't even be like, oh, what's that? Fine. Like, we can't do that anymore, because these guys have allowed to run us terribly. They've made so much money at the club. They haven't even reinvested. They've done nothing. We just have leaks. The manager said that we're going to do interviews, the pressers at the stadium, and they had to move back. He had an idea, and they saw the leak happening in that thing. He said, look, we're out of it.
But that's my point, KG, is that but these are separate issues. That's a separate issue to the issue at hand. Like, and then that's when I say criticize INEOS for the stuff that has happened. But I think maybe this is why the issue probably annoyed me so much, is because, once again, it's the thing that I hate, which is it's all hypotheticals. It's like going, I don't know. It's like going, right, if I said to you, KG, if you got a phone call from Marvel to be the next Black Panther film, would you say yeah? Of
course I would. Headline,
KG would consider Marvel film. And you go like, but at the moment, is that happening? Have you got the phone call? No, but you'd consider it. So it's the same thing. And then suddenly that's an article. And it was just, that was the point. And then it was like, like Chelsea, they consider Kobe Mainu. Well, of course they would. It's like going, if Mbappe leaves Real Madrid, would you, and you picked up the phone, Man United, would you want to sign Mbappe? Yes. United would consider Mbappe deal. And he goes, it's like, it's nonsense. Then that's what I'm saying. That stuff.
I would understand that. But if you had a club here that was actively trying to raise money and sort like make a lot of cutbacks and stuff, you couldn't, if they were trying to shop someone around and say, hey, the door's open, the doors are ajar, try. You know,
but they're not. And the
door, they're inviting offers.
Exactly. And the door is ajar to the point, because of the rules of football, the door's ajar for every player. There isn't a player on earth that the door isn't ajar for. And I know people can name them. It's just different prices. If Bukayo Saka at Arsenal, homegrown player, plays on the wing, if some club put in £100 million or £120 million, you don't think Arsenal would go, fucking hell, like, sit down, let's have a talk? Of course they would. Of course they would.
And it's that big club thing, though, isn't it? Because if a big club wants to compete, I remember Saudi did the same with Salah, and Liverpool said absolutely not. It was a great deal, and it was a good time. And business wise, it probably made more sense for the club to maybe.
But did Salah want to do it?
Salah didn't want to go.
Salah didn't want to go.
And that was a massive. But I'm just saying, in that thing, like sometimes we're not used to it. Just me as a Man United fan, I'm not used to being in a space where we have to give up our great assets to balance books.
No,
but
we don't have to.
Exactly that. We don't.
But we don't have to. But we consider it. You know, what I mean, football's changed. That's my point earlier on.
Like, that's what we are, though. We are not.
We are that.
We are not. We are not powerful enough, and that is the biggest statement we have to accept. We are not strong enough financially. Big Man United, people can be watching this podcast going, rah, Big Man United, is that how far they've fallen? I hate all that stuff now. I hate when I meet people talk about Man United, they go, what is going on, mate? Like, yeah, well, you're losing. That's what we've been. Like, we know it's crazy and we shouldn't be there. That's what it is. So there's no point going like, yeah, but we're not a selling club. We're not a feeder club. This version of Man United is not strong enough. Yeah, it's not.
But even that's bullshit.
Worst thing is we haven't even got any good players.
Because again, we have been.
People came and took Ronaldo. They came and took. They came and took.
No, we got a return of investment. A lot of these players that you're talking about,
we were good, but we ain't even got good. But we don't sell good because our players ain't even good as well.
But that's what I'm saying. When you talk about players that left, you think you've given us some amazing titles. Thank you for your service. So now we're talking about letting go of some people that haven't even started their true United careers, that being available. It's like, wait, we ain't even received it. It feels like we're getting into our Arsenal era of we're potentially on the horizon of we have to get rid of the Fabregases, the RVPs, the players that they really developed. We're gonna go into those barren years.
But we're talking about in the case of Kobe and Garnacho, we're talking about homegrown players, right? So it's no different to Elliot Anderson, who had to leave Newcastle and now he's at Forest. Forest are third in the league. My man's playing every week. You think Newcastle wanted to do that? No, they didn't. They had to. It would have been him or Lewis Smiley, who was 17 at the time, who's doing amazing things in that first team. It's like, or Sean Longstaff or someone else who's homegrown. The same way how look what Chelsea have done. Obviously, they're happy to do it. But you know what I mean? Tamori, Tammy Abraham, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Conor Gallagher, Trevor Chalobah, just dashed him out. Like they've started doing it because this is the thing. Look at City with Cole Palmer. Palmer come through the fingers 40 M's.
City with a lot of players.
Do you know what I mean? Liam Delap.
When you think of,
Lavia.
There's a lot of stuff happening here, but then when you do think there's been a lot of change at Man United, and you're talking about the culture of the club, and you hear people that call in, even on TalkSport, they're saying, listen, Man United, the recent one is we kind of feel soulless. We kind of feel like, and it's the PR hasn't helped. INEOS haven't helped themselves how they put out certain messages. That's one thing we should all be able to agree on. So then when you're looking at your club that you support, you're like, what is going on? So when fans are whipped up into a frenzy by the newspapers, you have to almost give a bit of, give some leeway for those fans because they have just been watching a madness happen. Everything, they've made so many decisions and ugly ones as well. And no one's talking from the top from INEOS to say, hey guys, this is what we're doing. This is our plan. This is how we we want to roll this thing out. Literally, each decision from the women's team to everything we are right now just looks scary. It looks scary.
I totally agree. And again, that's my point is, if we're going to critique and we're going to criticize, which I think they absolutely should, because I don't think they get a blank pass, let's do it for stuff that has happened or they haven't done well, not this weird, like, hypothetical scenario which exists for, I think, near enough every club because of the rules of football nowadays. And I think that's why I was just kind of this week with that story where I just thought, Kobe's going to get a new contract. Garnacho, if someone did come in for 50 million, 60 million, we'd all encourage them to accept it because it's a good offer. And again, that's how football works nowadays. The rules have been put in place. If you're going to effectively overhaul, we're talking about overhaul a squad. To overhaul a squad now, got to sell people. Yes, we have large revenue streams, but we also have made bad decisions for a decade plus. And no club, we are the actual proof in football that regardless of how much money you make, you are not immune from financial difficulty if you make consistent bad decisions over a long period of time. You cannot escape.
And that was before INEOS. And that was before INEOS came in. So if they need to, and again, it's going to sound like I'm defending them a little bit here, but in the context of what I'm saying, I technically am, because they never gave out all them contracts and done the Pogba thing over twice, the Lukaku thing, the bloody Alexis Sanchez. Who else? The list goes on. Anthony, Casemiro, Mason Mount. They never did it. It wasn't them. That's just 6 we've just reeled off there. They never did that. But it's their task with undoing it. And because we're in such bad shape, guess what? This is where we have to get real. We have to get real. Guess what? It might hurt. We might have to let go of something might happen. You don't know. And I would hate for that to happen.
The culture of this club and bringing through youngsters is part of this club. I know for some clubs like Chelsea, they don't bring through the youngsters, and it's not on there.
It's our heartbeat, bro.
We've had a youngster in the squad for how many years? We boast the record for that. So you just want to see that some of the things that do make this club special, you want that stuff to remain. And it comes down to trusting. Obviously, this is the same club that has happily got rid of Fergie. All sorts of things have happened. So now the trust is at an all-time low for a lot of fans on INEOS.
100%. And that's why I was cussing them out. As soon as that Dan Ashworth thing happened, I was cussing. I said, no, I'm not on this. I'm watching. This year, you're struggling to find things that they've done good in the year that they've been.
Well, cussing for, and even like specific things, we can ignore that.
What have they done? That's good.
We're bottom half. Like this was the point I was making the other day too. I went, they've literally secured the investment.
Searching for the things.
They secured the investment over a year ago, Christmas Eve. If I'd have told you Christmas Eve 2023, excuse me, that, oh, by the way, a year later, we'll be bottom half, we'll have a new manager, we'd have like hired and fired a sporting director, blah, blah, blah.
Prices up,
ticket prices up. You'd have
Sir
said
Alex
like,
wouldn't get his thing no more.
You'd have been like, what the fuck happened in those 12 months? And then, criticize them for that. Like, yes, because look at it, it's not good.
You see that one there, where you're deep in it. Name me something good they've done. And
I can't. I was like, the only thing I could almost say is they found Ugarte and Euro. The signings, that window. Yeah. This window has aged okay.
Been all right. Yeah,
it's aged okay.
Like, but that's it. Really, all the things that we thought were good things. Dan Ashworth got the wicked leadership. Gonna be ruthless. You're going rotted. Hold on a minute.
And that's okay by our standards. We should also point that out too. Let's be honest, if we were a very consistent football club that was good in the transfer market, we'd probably look at this summer's transfer window and go, I don't know, I mean, it's a bit, but because we're not good in the market, we look at this past summer and go, that's really good by our standards, because it is good by our standards.
You've got to judge it by if first teamers, do they affect the first team? And all the players that we bought are first teamers bar one, really, like in terms starting week in, week out, 90, they're gonna get most of the minutes. Yeah. Well, actually,
we want Euro to come in, but he will.
And a window's incoming and outgoings, isn't it? As well, that's the other part of it as well. We talk about just incomings. We still go, like I said, those sins of the past. We're still desperate.
Can I bring something to the table just quickly? Because obviously we ain't got long, but that's an interesting chat. But just to bring it to the present day and like what we got coming up this weekend, Arsenal, etc. we've all watched the presser. You seen it, right, KJ? I saw you.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
So what do we make of basically Ruben saying, well, I want to start playing the strongest team. The reason why I was rotating wasn't because I really want to. I just basically had to do that in that time. We've got more time between games now, more training. I want to play the best team. Oh, it's interesting you say that, Ruben. So basically, obviously, the last cup game you played Altai Bayern. Does that mean Onana's going to play this time then? No, it's going to be Altai. Why do you think he's done that?
You know, I was gonna get mad because I saw it on X first, yeah. And I thought, Altai, and I almost lost my mind. Then I said, hold on, wait a minute. Onana and Altai, while you want to be mad for a second, they can do similar things. Like I've seen Altai had a horrible performance, but let's not act as if we haven't seen a madness from Onana in net as well.
He's better with his feet though.
But he is better than Bayern Deer.
Yeah,
I get your point, but he is better.
Bro,
like,
Bayern
put it this
dead,
way.
bro.
Put it this way, yeah.
Like,
before that Spurs game, because I did the match with Q in Saudi, Flex was at the game, yeah. And Bayern Deer kicked the ball out of touch in like the first couple of minutes. And I remembered because I've seen him play a couple of times. I saw him in the Euros, and I think he might have played once or twice for United. And I wasn't convinced. And he kicked the ball out into touch. And I said at that point, I forgot he's shit. I forgot. And I remember the chat going, what? Because he kicked the ball out once? No. You haven't been this harsh on Onana. And I was going, just wait, because there is a thing. There are two types of backup goalkeepers. Yeah. There are good backup goalkeepers, and there are bad backup goalkeepers. That one of the most luxurious positions in football is the backup or the third goalkeeper, because you don't play. You know what I mean? You get a wage, you don't play. It's like being a second string quarterback. You know, and the only problem is when they call you
second string ones are all right though,
because they're good. Because KG, there are good backup goalkeepers and there are bad ones, and there are good second string and there are bad second string. You can have, like I said, a Romero, or you can have a Kellier or a Liverpool, where you go, they're good. That's a good first team, and then you have some where they come in and you go, genuinely, not even being necessarily harsh, but you go, I think I've played with better goalkeepers. You know, you see that. You see that.
It was scary.
It just didn't really make sense. It just didn't really make sense. And I hear what you're saying about that same issue of, like, you know, man scoring from corners. It happened to Onana as well. So I get it happened at Wolves.
They're putting it right on now.
It doesn't matter who it is.
You know what? I understand it. Liverpool, Trent, you remember from the right-hand side, we dealt with the outswing. We dealt with the outswinger. The in-swinger was immense. And do you know who's doing the in-swinger for them? Declan Blood Clot Rice. Yeah. He's the one that's...
No, but Onana against Liverpool, he did it right.
So let's put Bayern Deer in goal to counteract that, KG.
I think, you have to have a look at it, mate. You have to.
We did against Spurs.
KG.
No, honestly. No, seriously, guys. Guys.
Nah, Bayern Deer,
look at it,
bro.
Look at
He's not fixed. Onana's not fixed, guys.
Yeah, but just keep playing him.
But it's not saying it's not saying that Onana's necessarily the answer either. It's just saying.
Bro, nice. Flex said that he wants him to be. Flex said he wants to see changes. This is the change.
But the other,
he wants to see some little tweak in it. Go on, Flex.
What I said was, I tell you what I said. I tell you what, holding my little microphone in the freezing cold outside Tottenham. What I said was, I goes, this is exactly what I said. This is why I'm angry. This is probably the real reason I'm angry. I goes, well, you know, we've lost 4-3 here at Spurs, but you know what? There's probably no point even talking about Bayern Deer and how rubbish that is, because he's not going to play for us ever again. So there's no point me actually cussing that. There's no point cussing Lindelof having to come off after, because you know what? That's not the future. Probably not going to actually play. I'm not going to cuss Ericsson, because it's like, I kind of went on this thing of like, that's not what we're going to be.
But then we had
the next cup game away at the Emirates now. I'm seeing Altai Bayern Deer.
Flex, we did have another stream, and you did say, I need the manager to do something, change something, because you don't like what this looks like.
I never once suggested.
Hey, he was saying crazy things. He wasn't saying Bayern Deer. He was not saying Bayern Deer. He was not saying Bayern Deer.
All I'm saying is, you wouldn't.
If I got nailed to the cross for Chelsea, what would have happened if I said Bayern Deer? If I would have said AB, bro.
Bro,
If I would've said-
that
you
is some
said
next
tweak
level
it.
deflected there,
You
KG,
said
by the way.
tweak it. He said tweak. Nope. He said
No,
he wasn't see a
no,
tweak in the system.
no,
He wasn't see
no.
side. Not just a
Yep.
system. He said
Yeah, I
maybe
said
the
changing
personnel.
Yeah, I did.
And look,
I did
he's
say
changed
that.
the personnel, mate.
And then and also when them
Has
goals
he
were
not changed the
flying in,
personnel, Flex?
when them goals were going in, I did not once say, I tell you what, this
That
keeper,
was after
we need
Flex.
to look at. No,
It-
no, it's
that
during the
was
game.
after
It's during the
no, the
game.
stream that you're talking
During the
about. I'm
game.
saying
Nope.
that stream that
Nope.
you're talking about when you said that he needs
Nope.
to make some tweaks. Yeah, that
Nope.
was
Nope.
after we came out and got knocked
Nope.
out of that round,
Nope.
that cup.
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
Well,
Not
the
buying
manager
into that.
listened to you. You got your
Nope.
wish. You got your wish.
Nope.
Buying
Nope.
there and net.
Nope.
You've
Well,
done this.
I tell you what,
You've
INEOS,
done
you
this,
said you
Flex.
wanted players out, mate. You said be ruthless. Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute. You said be ruthless. You said you said get the players all need to go. And now there's a prospect of players going when we're 13th in the league. You don't like it. You don't like it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, wait a
yeah.
minute, wait.
The KG Kagenda for Onana is out of control. That's what it is. It's the
Oh,
Kagenda. The Kagenda. People, I tell you what, I'm stuck
Just
between
like
two
your Dallo
fronts.
ones.
Terrified.
Flip flops.
your
No,
Dallo
both
Flex
flip-flops.
wanted this. Flex wanted this. But no, I'm seriously, guys, I am terrified. But let's be honest.
Terrified of what?
Both of
Not
them
Bayern there.
could
Saying
look
Bayern
like
there,
this.
yeah.
In buying there, coming,
Oh,
buying
just the
there
game.
playing on against Arsenal. Because you know what? I had these little shades of hope. I know we're shit, yeah, but then, if you just think, if Man United go in with the right attitude, they could make a game of this. Try to score first. And you just feel like, as soon as I saw Bayern there in net, yeah, I kind of did lose the 10% of hope that I had. It died on that drive home.
But I just say, look, when it comes to the weekend, we know these players, don't trust them, because we're still winless in 5, you know what I mean? And
exactly.
we beat City and when we didn't win a game after that for ages, just because we drew at Anfield, it doesn't mean that we're going to show up again. These players have not earned anything in my head to make me believe in them any more than I did going into the Anfield game. If we win, even if we win and knocked Arsenal out, I'd be like, go do it again against Southampton, because I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I said this to KG on the phone. I said that's why I was on ASTV and this might DR, whatever it is. I'm going, listen, I still think we're going to come up short in this game. I think we are better equipped if we believe to give them a good game and make the Emirates really uncomfortable. They're in a tough moment. If we score first or go long periods with
how
it,
ironic.
Win.
How ironic if we beat Arsenal by actually
Believe.
Yeah, that would be
amazing. That's what I'm saying. If they just believe, bro, if they just believe that they can put it on them and show a bit like they did in the first game, but show some more, and play like they did against Liverpool, we can give Arsenal a flipping proper game. I do feel that. I don't know. Normally when I'm on my way to Emirates, I'm going, nope, 3-0, easy, comfortable. I did predict 2-0 last time, and it was, but
I got 2-1,
and I said 2-1. I think we'll score this time, but I just think. Yeah, they need a reaction. They do need a reaction. So we have to wait and see. Guys, right, smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Make sure you check out KG's new rebranded channel.
Rebranded.
You know what I'm saying? Rebranded channel. Link is in the video description below. Make sure you check it out. And obviously check out Owen Wrestle News 365. The wrestling world has been
SmackDown tonight.
Red for Netflix and Raw.
Red Netflix. Yes. Oh, I tell you what, it's a new era. It's a new era.
The lead up to Royal Rumble and all of that.
Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Make sure you tune into Owen Wrestle News 365. Yep, 100%. We're out of here, guys. Take care. Peace.